In the relentless downpour of Seattle's autumn evening, the ambulance sirens wailed like ghosts from a nightmare I thought I'd buried. Rain hammered the windshield of our family SUV, blurring the world into a watery haze. My father, Chief William Reynolds, slumped in the back seat, his face ashen foam flecking his lips from the brain hemorrhage that had struck without mercy. My mother, Elena, cradled his head, her whispers frantic prayers laced with sobs. "Hold on, Will, we're almost there." But we weren't. The interstate was a snarl of brake lights and honking horns, a gridlock born from rush hour, and a multi-car pileup ahead. I gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white, my heart pounding, a rhythm of dread. This wasn't just any traffic jam. This was the day it all unraveled in my previous life, the day that ended with my family's blood on the kitchen floor and a knife in my chest. Reborn, just weeks ago, I'd vowed to rewrite every twisted page. No more begging, no more blind faith in the man who'd sworn to love me. Blake Donovan, my husband, the traffic cop with a hero's badge and a traitor's heart. In that other life, I'd spotted him first directing traffic at the edge of the chaos, his yellow rain slicker glowing under the flares. Desperation had clawed at me then, just as it did now. My mother had leaned out the window, voice breaking. "Blake, please, it's Will. He's dying." I joined her pleas, tears streaming, until he relented, waving us through with a conflicted glance. That act of mercy saved my father that night. But mercy came at a price. While we celebrated his discharge with a feast, Blake himself prepared his childhood sweetheart, Sophia Hale, had spiraled. She'd called him during the jam, her voice a fragile thread in the storm of her panic attacks. He hadn't answered. Guilt festered like an open wound. Sophia turned on the gas that evening, her apartment filling with silent death. Blake found her body cold, the autopsy confirming suicide. He shattered 3 days, cradling her urn, eyes hollow, whispering apologies to the ashes. Then, like a storm cloud parting, he returned to us. With flowers in hand and smiles forced, he played the devoted husband. I believed him. God, how I believed him. Until the poison hit every bite of that celebratory dinner was laced with arsenic, slow, insidious, undetectable at first. My father convulsed, first choking on his own blood. My mother followed, clawing at her throat. I bolted for the door, but Blake dragged me back by the hair, slamming me into the basement floor. "You did this?" He'd snarled, his face a mask of righteous fury, forcing my knees to the cold concrete before a framed photo of Sophia's smiling face. "You and your damn father. If not for you, she wouldn't have died. You stole me from her. Now pay." His knife plunged into my chest as I gasped for explanations, how William had only wanted to help Blake's career, pulling strings for a promotion that never came because of Blake's absences, his secret visits to Sophia. But words meant nothing. As darkness claimed me, he turned the blade on himself, collapsing beside me in a pool of our mingled blood. "Sophia, wait for me." The memory surged, now hot and vicious, as horns blared around us. I couldn't let history repeat, not this time. Swerving sharply, I cut onto a narrower side street shadowed by looming warehouses, the SUV's tires splashing through puddles. "Ava, what are you doing?" Elena cried, her voice pitching higher. "We need help." I didn't answer. Asking Blake was a trap I'd sprung once before. Instead, I floored the accelerator, praying the detour would buy us time. But fate, cruel as ever, had other plans. Up ahead, blue lights flashed. Blake's partner and my silent tormentor, Ryan Keller, stepped into the road, arms outstretched like a barricade. His smirk cut through the rain cold, knowing as if he'd been waiting. "End of the line, Mrs. Donovan," he called, voice amplified by the storm. Ryan had always hated me whispering to anyone who'd listen that I'd trapped Blake with my father's influence, ruining his shot at a real life with Sophia. In my past life, he'd been a background shadow. Now something darker flickered in his eyes. Rebirth hadn't just given me a second chance, it also seemed to have awakened monsters in others. My father's labored breaths rasped from the back seat, each a countdown. Elena's sobs turned to wails. "Ryan, please, it's Chief Reynolds. He's having a stroke." Ryan sauntered closer, rain dripping from his cap, his gaze raking over me like I was scum. "Chief or not, rules are rules. You think you can barrel through like you're above the law? Abuse of power, that's what this looks like." He leaned in, voice dropping to a venomous hiss only I could hear. "Blake warned me about you, always scheming. Tell me, Ava, how far will you go to play the damsel this time?" Panic clawed up my throat, but I swallowed it, forcing steel into my spine. This wasn't desperation, it was war. I stepped out into the deluge water, soaking my blouse, and met his stare. Move, Ryan, or I swear you'll regret it. His laugh was bark-sharp, echoing off the wet pavement. Around us, drivers rolled down windows, jeers mixing with the rain. Look at her, thinks she's special. We're all stuck here, one yelled. Ryan crossed his arms, immovable. Go on, beg, like you did for Blake last time, or was that all an act to last time? The words hung like a noose. Had Ryan been reborn too? The thought sent ice through my veins, no time to unravel it. William groaned, his body arching in seizure. Elena screamed. In that frozen instant, a crack appeared in my resolve, the ghost of love for Blake, that fleeting warmth from our early days whispering, maybe he can still be saved. But no, the basement's chill, the knife's bite, they drowned it out. I dropped to my knees in the puddle, head bowed, rain mingling with tears I refused to let fall. Please, Ryan, for once be human. The crowd hushed, phones emerging to capture the spectacle. Ryan's triumph gleamed, pathetic, just like Sophia said you'd be. Sophia. My head snapped up. What did she know? But before I could press, William's convulsions worsened, blood flecking his lips. Elena's cries pierced the storm. Ryan faltered just a flicker, but it was enough. A new shadow loomed in the crowd as thunder cracked overhead, a silver-haired man in a trench coat peering from his stalled sedan. Dr. Nathan Brooks, the neurosurgeon who'd pulled my father from death's edge once before. Our eyes locked. Hope, fragile and electric, sparked. But as I rose to call him, Ryan's radio crackled. Keller, stand down. Donovan's orders. Blake's voice tinny and laced with ice. Let them rot. The line went dead. Ryan grinned wider, but beneath it something calculated stirred like a predator toying with prey. What game was he playing, and why did it feel like the jam was just the opening move in a deadlier chessboard? As Dr. Brooks pushed through the throng barking orders, I realized this rebirth wasn't just mine. The board had reset for all of us, and the stakes higher than blood. The rain intensified, turning the side street into a river of regret. Dr. Nathan Brooks reached us in strides that cut through the chaos, his face a storm of professional fury. Out of the way, he bellowed at Ryan, who blocked the path like a sentinel of spite. Nathan's reputation preceded him, Seattle's miracle worker who pioneered aneurysm repairs that saved senators and starlets alike. He'd been our unwitting savior in my past life, arriving just in time because Blake had cleared the road. Today, I wouldn't wait for mercy. Dr. Brooks, Nathan, please. I gasped, grabbing his sleeve, water streaming down my face. It's my father. Brain hemorrhage, he's seizing. Nathan's eyes sharpened, darting to the SUV where Elena rocked William's limp form. Without a word, he shoved past Ryan, wrenching open the back door. Tilt his head, loosen the collar. His commands were lightning fast, his hands steady as he checked William's pulse. How long? I choked out for 20 minutes, maybe more, climbing in to assist my mind flashing to the first aid drills I'd obsessively practiced since Rebirth. In that other life, ignorance had cost us precious seconds. Not again. I pressed 2 fingers to William's neck, counting beats, while Nathan pried his jaw to prevent tongue biting. Elena whimpered, "Is he?" Nathan's nod was grim, critical. We need a hospital now. Ryan loomed at the door, arms crossed, rain beating on his jacket like mocking jewels. No dice, Doc. Traffic's locked. Can't play favorites. His tone dripped sarcasm, but his eyes, those eyes held a glint of something sharper, more predatory. Proactive, not just obstructive. In the original timeline, he'd been a bully with a badge. Now, he stepped closer, megaphone in hand, voice booming to the gathering crowd. Folks, stay calm. This is Mrs. Donovan, yeah, the one. She thinks her daddy's badge will get her a VIP lane. Don't let her con you. Murmurs rippled like waves. Phones captured every angle, the digital vultures circling. Abusing power again, a woman sneered from her Prius. My kid's late for soccer because of this. Ryan fed the fire, his words a calculated poison. Last year she pulled the same stunt used Chief Reynolds to force Blake into marriage, broke up his thing with that poor girl Sophia. Now faking a medical emergency. Classic Ava. The accusation hit like a slap. In my past life, whispers like these had eroded my world slowly. But Ryan, he'd never been this bold, this orchestrated. Had Sophia coached him, or was Rebirth twisting him into her pawn? Doubt gnawed a weak flicker, remembering Blake's rare, tender nights, his laugh echoing in our old apartment. What if he's changed? What if I can reach him? The thought was a siren's call tempting forgiveness, but William's ragged breath snapped me back. No, Blake's blade had ended that delusion. Nathan whirled on Ryan, face thunderous. You idiot, this is real! Look at the vitals! He thrust his phone forward and a quick app scan showed plummeting oxygen levels. Ryan scoffed, but hesitation cracked his facade. Prove it. Nathan didn't hesitate. He yanked William's shirt open, exposing the telltale signs: dilated pupils, erratic breathing. The crowd gasped as foam bubbled anew. Still, Ryan held firm, dialing his radio with deliberate slowness. "Dispatch, we've got a potential hoax on Elm Street. Donovan's wife, yeah, her." Static crackled Blake's voice, sliced through Keller. "Hold the line. I'm en route from Sophia's. She's not well." The words twisted in my gut. Not well. The same lie that had lured him away 100 times. In our marriage, Sophia's episodes were invisible chains, panic attacks that demanded his presence only to vanish when convenient. I'd endured it, chalking it up to old friendship. Fool. Elena's voice broke the tension. "Ava, he's stopping breathing." Chaos erupted. William arched, blood spraying in a crimson arc that splattered Ryan's face. The cop recoiled, wiping frantically, horror replacing his smirk. "Holy, that's real." Nathan shoved him aside. "Move or I'll have your badge for manslaughter." The crowd's jeers flipped to shouts of, "Let her through." Ryan, dazed, fumbled for his siren. Lights whirled and he peeled out, carving a path through the snarl. We followed an SUV hydroplaning behind his cruiser. Nathan rode shotgun, barking directions into his phone's Swedish medical prep or for cerebral bleed. ETA 5. Adrenaline surged, but so did questions. Ryan's radio had mentioned Sophia explicitly. Was she pulling strings from her shadowed perch? And Blake en route now. The detour bought time, but tension coiled tighter. A black sedan tailed us too closely as we merged onto the freeway. Ryan's backup or something deadlier. William stabilized under Nathan's compressions in the back, but Elena's eyes met mine, fear laced with unspoken accusation. "Why didn't you call Blake?" The weak moment hit again, a pang for the man I'd loved who proposed under cherry blossoms, promising forever, but forever had tasted like arsenic. I squeezed her hand. "We're saving him, Mom, no matter what." Yet as the hospital lights pierced the rain, I couldn't shake the chill. Ryan's knowing glance suggested this gridlock was no accident. Someone had jammed the roads deliberately, and if Rebirth had armed our enemies, mine was beginning. The emergency bay at Swedish Medical was a frenzy of white coats and beeping monitors, the scent of antiseptic sharp as shattered glass. Nurses swarmed the SUV like bees to a hive, wheeling William away on a gurney, veer line snaking into his arms. Nathan Brooks stripped off his soaked coat, barking orders: "CT stat, notify neuro." Elena clung to me, her body trembling from shock. "Ava, he has to make it." I nodded, throat tight, but my mind raced ahead to the man who might slither in any moment, turning salvation to sabotage. We collapsed into the waiting room's plastic chairs, the fluorescent buzz mocking our exhaustion. Minutes stretched like hours. Then Ryan Keller burst through the doors, uniform still flecked with William's blood, his face a mask of feigned concern. "Mrs. D. Ava, I called it wrong. Sorry." Apology. From him. In my past life, he'd never uttered one. This Ryan was sharper, his contrition laced with probing eyes as if testing waters for deeper currents. Blake's on his way. He was tied up. Tied up. With Sophia, no doubt. The thought stirred a treacherous warmth, a memory of Blake's arms around me after a long shift, his breath warm against my neck, murmuring, "You're my anchor." Anchor, I'd been his chain. The hesitation crept in, soft as fog. What if this jam was a test? What if he comes, now sees the truth, and we start over? But the basement's echo, Sophia's photo looming, Blake's knife flashing, shattered it. No. I'd almost forgiven him once in that poisoned haze, believing his tears. Mistake. A nurse stormed out, gown bloodied. "Family, you delayed him, his pressure's crashing. What were you thinking?" Her glare pinned Ryan. He shifted, mumbling. "Looked fake," Blake said. The nurse cut him off. "Blake, that one's been dodging calls all night. If Chief Reynolds dies, you're both done." Ryan's jaw clenched, but he didn't snap back. Instead, he pulled out his phone, dialing with urgent taps. "Donovan, get here. It isn't good." The line-connected speaker blaring. "Keller." "What's the play?" Blake's voice calm, edged with irritation. Ryan glanced at me, eyes gleaming with malice. "Your wife's dad, real hemorrhage. Blood everywhere. Doc's in surgery." A pause heavy as lead. Then Blake's laugh, cold and cutting, staged. "Has to be. Sophia's crashing again, panic attack. I'm staying. Let Ava sweat it out, teaches her not to meddle." Click. Elena's gasp was a knife twist. That monster, after everything Will did for him. Will had pulled strings for Blake's promotion, hosting dinners with brass, toasting his future. Blake repaid it in absence, vanishing for Sophia's whims. Rage boiled, but beneath it that damn flicker. He sounds stressed. Maybe Sophia's really ill this time. Weakness. I slapped it down, recalling the urn's shadow and the poison's bitter aftertaste in his eyes. Nathan emerged, then scrubs on face grim. He's stable for now, ICU monitoring. But the delay, it complicated things. His gaze flicked to Ryan. You, out. Before I call IA. Ryan bristled, but complied, slinking away with a parting shot. Tell Blake I covered for him. Covered. The word itched like a lie. As Elena drifted to sleep in exhaustion, I slipped into the hall needing air. Footsteps echoed Ryan lurking by the vending machines. Ava, he called, voice low, conspiratorial. We need to talk. I froze. Proactive Ryan unnerved me wiser like a fox in uniform. What do you want? He stepped closer, breath minty despite the chaos. Sophia's not just panicking. She told me everything how you cornered Blake at that wedding, used your charm and Daddy's name to reel him in. He was happy with her. You stole that. Stole. The accusation burned, but truth twisted it. I'd bumped into Blake at a colleague's wedding, spilling champagne, and he was helping with my clutch. Flirtation sparked innocent at first. William's nudge. He's solid. Ava sealed it. No mention of Sophia abroad then, her shadow dormant. He chose me, I whispered, voice cracking. Ryan's smile was a blade. Choose your status, but Sophia, she's back and she's got plans, big ones. Drop the divorce talk or she spills your secrets. Secrets. My pulse thundered. What did Sophia know that I didn't? Before I could press alarms blared from the ICU, William coding. Nathan sprinted past, shouting, Ava. Now Ryan vanished into the shadows as I ran heart slamming. In the room, defibrillators hummed, William's chest arching under shocks. Elena wailed. As nurses swarmed, a figure appeared in the doorway. Blake disheveled Sophia on his arm, pale and clinging like ivy. His eyes met mine, guilt or calculation. Ava. I came. Sophia's whisper. She's faking weakness, Blake. Please don't fall for it. The room spun. William flatlined. And in that heartbeat, I wondered, was Ryan's warning a threat or a lure into Sophia's web? The defibrillator whined, charging for another jolt. Fight, Dad. Because if you fall, so does my last illusion of mercy. The ICU hummed with mechanical life support, a sterile symphony underscoring the fragility of our world. William stabilized after the code, his chest rising in shallow, machine-timed breaths. Elena dozed fitfully beside him, hand entwined with his. I stood vigil, coffee bitter on my tongue, replaying Ryan's cryptic warning. Sophia's got plans, your secrets. What hold did she have? Her manipulations in my past were subtle texts that yanked Blake away, episodes that demanded devotion. Now with Rebirth's edge, she seemed bolder, a spider weaving from afar. Dawn crept through the blinds when Blake cornered me in the family lounge, Sophia absent for once. His uniform was rumpled stubble, shadowing his jaw, eyes bloodshot. Ava talked to me. The plea tugged that old pull, the man who'd danced with me at our wedding vowing protection. Weakness bloomed. He's here. Maybe the jam was chaos, not cruelty. I almost reached for him, nearly whispered forgiveness, but his following words iced it. This stunt with your dad. It's low even for you. Stunt fury ignited hot and clarifying. He's in there because of your partner, because you hung up. Blake's face hardened, defensiveness flaring. Ryan said it looked fake. And Sophia, she needed me. You know her attacks, excuses the same script. I stepped closer. Voice steal attacks you enable. While my family bleeds, his hand shot out, gripping my arm, not violent, but possessive. We can fix this. William pulls strings and I get promoted. We move past Sophia. Past her, the lie stung, evoking the drunken night he'd confessed her name in my arm's body, yielding yet soul elsewhere. I wrenched free. No more strings, Blake. I'm filing papers. His eyes widened, shock genuine or feigned Ava wait. I love you, the words once elixir are now poison. I turned away, but not before seeing Ryan in the hall, watching with a nod of approval. Ally or informant. Hours blurred into consultations. Nathan pulled me aside post-rounds. Your father's tough, he'll pull through. But Blake, keep him away. Wise counsel, but Nathan's pause hinted more. Heard whispers. Donovan's been dodging shifts for months. Not just Sophia, debts too. She's bleeding him dry. Debts knew intel, a crack in their facade. I probed. How do you know Nathan's smile was wry? Surgeons hear everything, and I have friends in low places. Elena pulled me close as William transferred to a step-down unit that afternoon. Leave him, Ava, before he poisons us all, figuratively at least. Her words echoed the transcript's horror, but they carried fresh weight in Seattle's gray light. I nodded, resolve hardening yet that evening alone with Blake's texts. Please come home. Miss you, doubt whispered again. One more chance, no. I deleted them, but the ache lingered. Sophia struck next, proactive and venomous. Unannounced, she slipped into the room, perched on William's bed like a vulture. Ava, darling. Blake's distraught. This drama, it's unbecoming. Her eyes, emerald and unblinking, held a danger I'd underestimated. In the past, she'd been fragile porcelain, now porcelain laced with arsenic. Drama. My father's life hangs by threads you helped tangle. She laughed, soft and chilling. Tangle, I called Blake during the jam, a real attack, mind you. You intercepted. Jealousy suits you poorly. Intercepted lie, but seeded doubt. Ryan's warning echoed her plans. Sophia leaned in, voice honeyed with venom. Drop the divorce or I'll tell the brass about William's favors, the bribes for Blake's rise. Illegal, darling, and your little secret. That wedding night, Blake was mine first. You were the rebound. Rebound. The word gutted me, stirring memories of our passionate start now tainted. Weak moment tears pricked temptation to beg her mercy, to salvage the life I'd built. But William stirred, murmuring my name. Anchor found. I stood, voice ice. Threaten all you want, but touch my family and I'll bury you. She rose, smirking. Game on. As she sauntered out, Ryan waited in the hall, handing her an umbrella with a conspiratorial wink. Their alliance clicked Ryan not just Blake's shadow, but Sophia's enforcer. Wiser, deadlier. That night, as alarms quieted, I uncovered my first counter-hacking Blake's email, a skill honed in lonely nights post-rebirth, revealing Sophia's demands, money for therapy coded as extortion. Tension coiled. William's vitals dipped again. Sabotage, a nurse's tampered IV. Paranoia gripped, but proof lurked. Blake called Sophia's worse. See, lure or trap. I hung up, heart racing. The hospital's halls felt like veins pulsing with betrayal. And in the mirror, my reflection hardened, no more hesitation. But as Sophia's heels echoed, fading, I wondered what secret she held that could unravel me. The board tilted, drama thickening. One wrong move and the blade whispered again. Word count 785. Discharge day dawned crisp, Seattle's fog lifting like a veil torn from illusions. William, frail but fierce, gripped my hand in the ward. Ava, that bastard Donovan, cut him loose. His voice, raspy from intubation, carried the weight of a chief's command. Elena nodded, eyes steely. We've endured enough. Relief washed over me, mingled with that insidious pull, Blake's recent texts, poetic apologies evoking our honeymoon hikes in the Cascades, his hand steady in mine. Forgive, rebuild. The thought nearly buckled me, almost a mistake, signing the papers too soon without confronting his heart. But William's squeeze grounded me. Strong kid, like your mom. We wheeled out to the hospital's porte cochere, air sharp with pine from nearby evergreens. Freedom tasted sweet until the slap. It landed like thunder, Blake's palm cracking across my cheek, sending me sprawling onto wet pavement. You bitch, he roared, face contorted, veins bulging. Reported me, I lost my shield because of you. Security surged, pinning him, but his venom sprayed free. You're useless, old man, his favor got me fired, you ruined everything. Behind him, Sophia hovered, lips curled in amusement, her designer coat starkly contrasting with my rumpled scrubs. She'd orchestrated this, Ryan's tip-off, no doubt. Elena gasped, shielding William, who paled in his chair. Pain bloomed on my face, blood trickling from a split lip, but more profoundly, a hurt lanced the man. I'd loved reduced to this beast. Weakness surged. He's broken. Fix him. Temptation to crumple, to whisper. I still care, leading to peril. What if I let slip my rebirth, giving him leverage? No. The poison's memory surged, stealing me. I rose, tasting copper, glaring, ruined. You abandoned your post for her. Blake lunged against the guard's, spittle flying. Lies. You forced me. You used Will's clout to trap me after that wedding farce. Sophia interjected, voice silk over shards. Blake, darling, she's desperate. Staging illnesses, now violence. Pathetic. Her eyes locked on mine, challenging, wiser, now proactive, as if she'd scripted his rage. Ryan emerged from the shadows, assisting security, but his glance at Sophia screamed complicity. Dangerous duo turning public opinion with whispers. Elena wheeled William forward, voice thundering. Get out, Donovan, or I'll bury you myself. But Blake's gaze flickered to William, then me regret, Ava, wait. We can, no. I spat blood, pulling divorce papers from my bag. Sign. Or rot. He snatched them, scanning, face crumpling. This. You're serious. Sophia grabbed a peek, smirking, finally free love. Then plot twist. Captain Harlan strode up, badge gleaming, face a storm. Donovan, resignation's final. You nearly killed the chief. Blake whirled. Captain. This is Harlan's glare silenced him, then softened on me. Miss Reynolds, Ava, sorry for the delay. Will's pull for your husband's promo I pushed, but his absence tanked it absence for Sophia. Blake blanched. Promo. Will did that? Harlan nodded, turning colder. Drank himself sick that night, stressing over your mess. Kneel and beg, boy. Blake staggered, eyes on me anew. Shock, then dawning horror. Sophia paled, clutching him. Blake, don't listen, she's manipulating. But he shrugged her off, tentative. Ava, I didn't know. The moment hung drama electric. My heart stuttered. Forgive. For Dad's sake, weakness nearly won a small error, hand trembling toward his. But Sophia's hiss, he's mine, and Ryan's subtle nod snapped it. Betrayal's echo roared. I yanked back. Too late. Harlan escorted us to the car, murmuring, file charges, Ava. He's toxic. Blake's shouts faded as we drove away, but Sophia's stare burned through the rearview promise of retaliation. At home, papers prepped, I collapsed, Elena's arms around me. You did well, baby, but sleep evaded, haunted by what-ifs. Ryan texted Sophia's secret ask about the affair pics. Blackmail. The slap sting faded, but tension mounted. Sophia wouldn't slink away. Her next move, a trap sprung with surgical precision, and I, teetering on forgiveness's edge, learned mercy is the deadliest illusion. Home in our Queen Anne row house, the scent of Elena's chamomile tea did little to soothe the bruises, physical or otherwise. William rested in the sunroom monitors, beeping softly, his recovery a fragile victory. Ava, he rasped over lunch. Donovan's poison runs deep, cut clean. I nodded, but Blake's face haunted his shock at Harlan's revelation, the crack in his armor. What if he meant it? The hesitation gnawed a weak chink, memories of lazy Sundays, his head on my lap, dreaming futures. Almost I texted him, talk a near-fatal slip, inviting his serpentine charm back in. But deleting it, I recalled the knife's twist, strong again. Sophia escalated that evening, proactive venom incarnate. A package arrived anonymous, but her perfume lingered on the wrapping. Inside, photos grainy but damning. Me at the wedding, laughing with Blake. Timestamps showing Sophia's texts were ignored that night. A note. Thief. Expose or be exposed. Blackmail laced with her attacks, faked, I suspected after Ryan's hint. Wiser now she didn't beg, she struck. I confronted her at a neutral spot, Pike Place Market, tourists milling like oblivious shields. She arrived, poised, scarf fluttering like a flag of false fragility. Ava. Tea. Her smile was a blade sheathed in silk. Cut the act, Sophia. The pics are childish. She sipped a latte, eyes gleaming. Childish. You stole my life. Blake was mine, high school sweetheart's promises under stadium lights. Then you, with your chief's daughter, glow, lured him. Lured, truth twisted, Blake had pursued dinner's charming William. But her proactive edge unnerved, she leaned in, voice low. I know your secret. That rebirth, Blake muttered in sleep. Crazy talk or truth ice flooded me. How rebirth shared, no eavesdropped perhaps from Ryan's bugs. Danger spiked. Delusions. She laughed. Prove it. Drop divorce or I leak William's bribes with these pics as motive. You framed Blake. Framed plot twist, she'd planted evidence, Ryan's complicity turning him from bully to co-conspirator. My weak moment crested fear of exposure, temptation to bargain, share him. Peace. Nearly voiced, but William's voice echoed strong. I countered, leak away. But your lies abroad of fair debts, Blake paid, that's public. Her face flickered, gotcha. How Ryan double-crossing, no, my email dive paid off. She recovered, a dangerous glint sharpening. Then we wore, Blake's mine eternally, as she vanished into the crowd, tossing flowers to vendors like a queen. My phone buzzed, Blake. Meet, please. Truth time. Lure. I went to a waterfront bench, fog rolling off the sound. He arrived, haggard eyes pleading. Ava Harlan was right. Will helped me. I threw it away for her confession raw. Tension crackled, drama in his tremble. Forgive, rebuild on ruins. Heart ached, hand nearly in his, a small mistake averted by instinct. Too late, Blake. You chose. He crumpled. Sophia's poison, she faked everything. Attacks debts. I see now. Tears genuine. But Ryan appeared then, escorting him away, whispering urgently. Alliance fracturing. Blake pulled free, desperate. Ava, wait. Sophia's call was interrupted, her voice shrill. Blake, attack, come now. He hesitated, torn the old chain yanking. He left. Alone, fog closing in, I pieced it. Sophia's web included Ryan paying him for sabotage the jam engineered with fake accidents. Proof in traffic cams I'd subpoena later. Back home, Elena found the photos. Burned them. She's desperate. William nodded. Use it. Night fell, suspense thick. Blake texted, I ended it with her. Give me time. Temptation whispered, but her notes echo eternally. No. The serpent coiled tighter, but I'd strike first, exposing her coil one scale at a time. Curiosity burned what broke Ryan's loyalty. The war turned personal tense as a held breath. The divorce mediation loomed like a guillotine in a sleek downtown office overlooking Puget Sound. I'd prepped meticulously, assets split, William's gifts reclaimed the condo, the cruiser. Blake arrived early alone, shadows under his eyes deepening his once handsome features. Ava. His voice cracked, hand outstretched. No Sophia, no Ryan. A white flag. Tension hummed, drama in his disarray. I broke it off for us. Us! The word pierced, stirring embers, our first fight makeup, in rain-soaked sheets, vows renewed. Weakness flooded, one last try for the man beneath the monster. Nearly. I clasped his hand, a near blunder. What if his remorse was genuine Rebirth's gift? But the urn's image flashed, Sophia's ashes, his unyielding grief. Lies Blake. Sign. He balked, papers trembling in his grip. Please. I know now about Will and the promo. I was blind. Blind to her manipulations, yes, but complicit. As signatures loomed, Sophia burst in, uninvited, Ryan flanking like a guard dog. Her entrance was theatrical, tears streaming, clutching a folder. Stop! You can't, Blake, she's destroying us. Proactive fury, wiser than before, she'd bribed the clerk for access. The mediator frowned. Ma'am, Sophia thrust photos, not mine, but forged me, bribing Harlan timestamps, doctored. Proof Ava framed, Blake jealous rage. Ryan nodded, voice oily. Saw it myself. Plot twist, their endgame pins corruption on me to save Blake's job. Drama escalated. Blake's face paled, torn. Sophia. No, I told you it's over. She whirled on him, mask slipping. Over. After I faked everything for you, the attacks, the debts to keep you mine. Confession spilled, her desperation cracking the facade. Abroad, kicked out as a mistress, you paid to hush it. Blake recoiled, horror dawning. You lied. Ryan shifted uneasy, his payday evaporating. I seize, signed Blake, or join her fall. He did pen-shaking eyes, pleading one last, forgive. Heart stuttered, weak echo of love, but no, done. Outside chaos, Sophia lunged, nails raking my arm. Thief Ryan pulled her back, but his whisper to her, plan B, the leak. Dangerous to the end, security hauled them away. Blake lingered broken. Ava in another life, I cut him. This one ends now. His flinch confirmed he'd glimpsed my secret, perhaps in delirium. Suspense coiled, what would he do? Home victory, soured by blood on my sleeve. Elena bandaged, William toasted free. But night brought terror, an anonymous call, Sophia's voice. You think it's over? Ryan's got your Rebirth recording, Blake's ramblings. Trap sprung. Ryan, a proactive traitor, had bugged our home. Tension peaked. I traced it, his squad car parked blocks away nights ago. Confrontation brewed. Blake called Sophia's unhinged. Help me end her. Alliance, no bait. I hung up, fortifying journalists, tipped evidence of her frauds packaged. The oaths shattered, but blades hid in shards. As rain lashed windows, curiosity gnawed Ryan's motive, love for Sophia, or greed. The divorce was sealed, but war raged dramatic as a storm surge. One slip and hidden knives would gleam. Weeks post-divorce, Seattle's winter gripped like a vice-gray skies mirroring my guarded heart. William thrived back to light duties at home, his laughter echoing through dinners. Elena bloomed, dating a kind ER doc. Me. A ghost of resolve, weak moments rarer but sharper, spotting Blake's car outside a coffee shop, almost waving closure before veering away. Mistake dodged, his texts persisted, I see it now, poisoned us all. Sophia unraveled publicly first. My leaks hit her, a broad scandal, forged medicals and extortion of Blake. Tabloids feasted, heiress hoax chief's daughter exposes lover's lies. She countered viciously proactive to the brink doxing me online. Ava Reynolds homewrecker with secrets. Whispers of rebirth delusions trended Ryan fueling with anonymous posts. Danger peaked threat scrawled on my door die again. Ryan struck next cornering me post shift at the precinct. William's pull got me admin. Ava, call off the hounds. His eyes, once mocking, now feral wiser cornered. Sophia's breaking. And your tape Blake's sleep talk, another life knife in heart. Sell it blackmail's blade. I feigned fear, weak flicker bargain for peace, but no. Countered with my ace traffic cam footage of him staging the jam payoffs from Sophia's accounts. Jail Ryan. Or testify. He cracked spilling Sophia's puppet mastery, seducing him post-return promising shares in her inheritance scam. She planned your dad's crash, tampered brakes, timed for the jam twist attempted murder, not just delay. Horror chilled. William's survival was a miracle indeed. Ryan fled, but not far arrested during a dawn raid, Harlan leading. Blake confronted last at our old pier, waves crashing like accusations. Haggard jobless, he clutched a box, Sophia's things. Ava, end this. I know you came back. Like me. Revelation dual rebirths. Drama crested. His eyes haunted mirrors. That night, I poisoned stabbed to join her, but waking here hell. Shared curse. Weakness crashed. Forgive together, unravel it. Heart raced, hand to his chest, small error vulnerability exposed. But his flinch guilt's residue recoiled me. You chose her echo over us. Sophia arrived then, wild-eyed gun from Ryan's stash trembling. Blake, she poisoned me lies. Her endgame frame me for her spiral suicide by cop. Proactive madness, dangerous finale. Tension snapped. I disarmed her self-defense training post-rebirth paying off gun skidding into surf. Blake froze, then acted tackled her holding till sirens wailed. Cuffed, she screamed, you both die again. But truth prevailed my recordings. Ryan's confession. Blake turned to me. Broken Ava. Sorry, no forgiveness. I walked waves, swallowing cries. He vanished after rumors of madness, a market knife to his heart echoing our end. Pity fleeting. Justice crimson and final. Months later, spring thawed Seattle. William promoted me to deputy. Elena wed her doc. I dated cautiously, scars fading. But the blade's whisper lingered, night's rebirth's gift, revenge's price. Sophia rotted in a psych ward and Ryan was jailed. Betrayals paid everyone. And me, stronger, unyielding. The echo silenced, but curiosity lingered whose hand reset the board. Another life waited, perhaps. But this one, mine, unchained.